everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week. Thank you so much for all the love on my last video. I'm really glad you guys liked it. I thought this week I'd keep it a little simple and just film a flip through of my pocket Filofax, which is what I'm using for my commonplace book. So grab a drink and chill while I show you what's in my commonplace book. So this is the Filofax Finsbury in pocket, and it's kind of like this pebbled leather. I love it so much, like it's so sturdy, and it has this little clasp, so you open it and it doesn't lay flat, but I've seen some people train it, so I think with time it probably will lay more flat than it does. Before, like when I just got it, it wouldn't stay open, it would just automatically shut, but obviously with wear it's kind of learning to stay more open. So you have, in the pocket size, you get 6 rings and 2 little card pockets, a pocket here, and then a mesh card holder pocket. And then at the back you get a zip pocket, but I don't put anything in it just because... Is this a pocket? No, that's not a pocket. But yeah, I don't put anything in the back because it's quite a tight fit. And a pen loop, which doesn't fit most pens. So that's annoying. And then you get a pocket at the back, like this. But again, I don't really use that pocket. So I have a Rhiannon business card slotted in this mesh pocket. I have a paperclip, and on the paperclip I attached this charm, which used to be on this, but I took it off and put it on this paperclip. And this charm is initially a phone charm strap thingy, but I had it on my phone for a bit and then I took it off and put it in my planner. Actually, no, I had it on my planner, like I tied it to my TN, had that for a couple of months, then I put it on my phone and now it's here, so I'm making good use of it. I just like the gothic vibe. And then in here I have, this used to be in my planner. It's like this plastic ruler thingy, but I really like the, I'm not even showing it, I really like the milk design at the top. I got it from Temu, but I cut it because these pockets are quite shallow and I want to put it in like there. So that's the accessories that I've used to design it. I have this dashboard which I made myself. I just wanted the first page to be something aesthetic. So these like ephemera, like astronomy things, are from like a pack from Amazon. And then I have Rhiannon stickers. This one is one of the gloomy ones, and it says "Time with my book is time well spent," and I just thought it was fitting. And then I have this washi tape from Miso Paper, and I think it just ties it in because I kind of want the vibe of this to be dark academia because it is like my little book of knowledge. And then when you flip over, I have this Rhiannon Gloomy. It's one of the like book ones. Sorry if you just heard that kid in the background. We have guests over. Sorry about that. My sister-in-law has her friend over, and her friend has a child. And I think he woke up from his nap, which is why he's crying. Sorry if you heard that, but as I was saying, I have this Rhiannon Gloomy. and it's one of the book ones, and it says, "I am grateful for the solace I find in my notebook. Time spent reading, writing, organizing, and indexing is never a waste. There is comfort and familiarity to be found between these pages when I need it." I just thought that was fitting, especially for my commonplace book, because it is a system that involves organizing and indexing, and it's very much like a comfort thing. Then I have the Filofax ruler, which I don't really use, I just keep it in there. And then the very first thing is the divider, and I've changed how I index my commonplace book. I used to use the sticker dots. It's pretty popular in the community. Most people do it, but I think most people saw Megan Rhiannon do it. I know I did. But I thought for rings, something that seems more intuitive to the format of rings is dividers. And I thought I would use the dividers that come with Filofax. They give you inserts. And kind of categorize it that way. So 1 is quotes, 2 is definitions, 3 is notes, 4 is my words, and 5 is media. So if I, instead of like using a different colored dot to indicate something, I just put it in the relevant section. And I found that has helped so much, because it's just easier to know where, like, what is where, because you know it'll be in a certain section. And it's also nice to just flick through the pages more often, because, you know, sometimes I write a quote, but then sometimes I have something I want to write, so I'm like constantly flicking through, and it makes it more interactive. So I'm really enjoying indexing this way. It's really fun, and it's just something different. And I think sticker dots, yeah, they're fun, but then they weren't really calling to me anymore. So on the flip side, I have quotes and the corresponding sticker. These are also Megan Rhiannon stickers. And then I go into quotes, and again, I was just using the pages that came with Filofax, just because I thought I don't want to waste them. And it's nothing fancy. I write the page number at the top, and then I write the quotes and a line, like splitting them up. And then something I do with my pages is I make slits, so I can do that. I can just take it off and then put it on, and I don't have to open the rings every time, because that can get annoying. So I can just do that, and I don't, like, it doesn't damage the pages when you pull them up. So what I do is, let's say if I'm writing on this side is quite easy, and the rings don't get in my way. But because I'm right-handed, if I were to write on the opposite side, it is like harder to write because of the rings. So because I make those slits, it means once I finished writing on this side, I just go like this, flip it over, and write like that. And I really enjoyed doing that. It hasn't annoyed me or anything, and it's not hard. And again, because I have the slits, I can just take the pages in and out, and it's super easy. And then blue ink signifies it's like my commentary or analysis to something. So yeah, I've done quite a few quote pages already. And it's really nothing fancy. And then these pages I bought from Etsy, from a shop called Simply Bizarre. And I really like them, but they're obviously like a very stark white compared to the Filofax pages. But it's also a faint grid, which I enjoy. So just more quotes pages. And I think, yeah, I've done 10 pages so far. And that is my quotes pages. And then I have definitions because I'm kind of like I studied literature at university, and I'm actually starting a new job as an English tutor, so I am very much an English nerd, and I don't know, like I don't want to ever stop learning. So if I come across a word I don't know, I want to absorb it into my vocabulary. Like, I'm always willing to learn new things, especially new words, because I think having an expansive vocabulary is always a great thing. So anytime I come across a new word, I like to write the definition, because I don't know where I saw this, but I remember like years ago I came across this thing where it said writing down something once is equivalent to reading it 5 times. Don't know if that's true, but it's just the idea that when you write something down, you're committing it more to your memory than just reading it. So when I come across a word I don't know, I like to just write it in. So there's a few words that I've come across, like carouse, vestigial, somatic, maudlin, zephyr, miasma, prophylactic, accretive. I normally it's like as I'm reading an article, or like if you're reading, I don't know, a quote and they use a word and I'm like, I'm not really sure what that means. Sometimes it's I've never heard of that word before, and sometimes it's I've heard of it but I'm not actually entirely sure what it means. And on both occasions I will research the definition and write it down. So I just write those on these blue pages that came with Filofax. And I actually really like this blue. I think it's a really nice blue, and I don't know why, I think it's fitting for definitions. And then I have notes. And notes is like a more loose version of copied text, because when I'm copying an article, or just, I don't know, if I'm doing research on something, whatever, I don't copy it word for word. So I feel like copied text is not an accurate label. Instead, I just think notes, it's a bit broad, but I know what it means in my head, so that works for me. So the first thing I have, and again, it's in these pink pages, which surprisingly, I don't even mind these pink pages. I think they're quite nice. And I prefer like the lined colored pages to the normal lined pages. I just think the actual lines aren't as harsh as on the like creamy colored ones. And because it's not as harsh, it's nicer to write on. So this first thing is I like to follow this Substack called Mind Mine, and it's an article they wrote about dancing with fear, and I thought it was really good. And then the second thing is an article on the cut, I want to say, but it's a column called Ask Polly, and the title was I'm broke and mostly friendless and I've wasted my whole life. And I really liked Polly's advice, and I like how the person that sent it in, they're called Haunted, so it's Dear Haunted, and I just liked the advice Polly gave. But again, like, this is very short, like the actual article goes on longer, and usually I just write what I find relevant to me. And like when writers put in like anecdotes and I don't particularly find the anecdote relevant to me, I will just skip it out. So it's a very shortened version. And then I wrote a post I saw on Tumblr called on illegalism, and the first time I read it, I was like, oh, that's interesting, I'll write it down. And then as I was writing it down, I was like, I don't know what the author is trying to say. I don't know if they were saying you should be comfortable with doing small illegal things because it makes you comfortable with the big illegal things. Like, I don't understand the point they were trying to make, so I wrote my own rebuttal to it, and yeah. So, and then this is just a award against hubris. I saw this on Tumblr too about knowledge and how, you know, everyone says like, you know, with the internet, the knowledge is like at your disposal, but actually we don't have access to all knowledge, at least not to the extent that we think we do. So I just wrote that down. And then 4 is my words, so that could be blog post ideas, I don't know, creative writing ideas, poetry, like just anything coming from me. So I had an idea for a zine, and I had a poem that I thought of, and then the idea to make it into a zine kind of hit me, because I don't know, like I was just looking, whenever I look at things in nature or things that appear naturally, I'm always in awe how we can see those shapes or those symbols or those patterns or even just that sight within the human body. Like, if you think of tree roots, they look so similar to like the is it called the alveoli? I can't remember what's the biological name for it, but like, you know, the things in our lungs, like they look like tree roots. Or I know like the solar eclipse just happened in America, and I kept on seeing images of it on Instagram, and it looks so much like a pupil of an eye. So like I just look at things in nature and I'm like, wow, like we are like a capsule, like a capsule with a fraction of the universe inside of us. So I like that sparked a poem idea, which then sparked a zine idea, and then I made a rough version of the scene on A4 paper, and then I hole punched it and I just put it in here. And then like on a blank paper, I just doodled the images that I thought I wanted to go with the poem. And then I have a blog post idea. I also have a digital printable version of my zine available on my Ko-fi. It's for free. So yeah, if you want this, you can print it off and then fold it into a zine and have it for yourself. I just love making little zines like this. And then I have a blog post idea on rings and why I switched to rings. I'll link that below. These green pages I'm not as fond of, but again, like I'd rather just use them than not use them. Then I have more of these grid pages. And then number 5 is media, so I don't have anything in here right now. Like, these are just blank pages, but if I want to doodle, stick ephemera in, anything that comes under media will go in here. And then 6 is just a miscellaneous section, so I have a contact detail page and then spare paper. These are the grid pages that come with Filofax, but I don't really like them because the lines are really dark, so it's very like jarring, and the grid is very small. I much prefer these ones. And then so all this spare paper, and then the to-do list papers that I just keep at the back, and then the clear pocket that comes with the Filofax pages, and I don't have anything in it. And then we're right at the back again. So that is a flip through of my Filofax commonplace system. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not at the point of archiving yet. Whenever I get to that, I'll show you how I'm archiving, but in my blog post I do give like what I'm thinking about when it comes to archiving. I really like this book. It's so small, but in like a nice way. It's getting a bit chunky, but not too chunky. And it's just, I've been having such a fun time in this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this flip, and until next time, bye.